Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey traders, checking in on the broader market. So a gap up open today with profit taking after a gap up open yesterday that saw bull follow through. And this is why it is so important to have a firm grasp on the bigger picture. Because if I'm looking at the daily uptrend and nothing else, I'm saying, yes, daily trend broke bullish yesterday. Why are we selling off today? If I'm aware that the weekly time frame, the most likely scenario is a weekly lower high on a multitude of individual names, individual sectors, and markets, then I know to be cautious, even on daily trend changes, even on strength on the daily time frame. I'm always cautious, knowing the weekly lower highs are the most likely scenario. And a bit of inside information, this is an email I sent to my dad this morning. If the drop was uncomfortable and you wished you had done anything different, now is the time to make any adjustments and lighten up a bit more. I expect a tightening trading range through April as the most common pattern, which is pretty much talking about the weekly equilibrium that I'm anticipating from here. So if we get further pullback, if the low of today breaks tomorrow, 264.89, we are looking for a daily higher low compared to 243.90. What I'm watching for is, what I would like to see as best case scenario for clarity for me, is a pullback for a daily higher low. I want it to be fairly significant. I want to drop down into the mid 250s or below. So I can then anticipate, yes, it's a daily higher low, but the significance of the pullback has me then looking for a daily lower high, and I can top fish 275.03 resistance. From there, we would then look for a daily trend change, a loss of the daily uptrend, and our weekly lower high would then be confirmed. That is what I am watching for into the next week or two. How we consolidate on the daily time frame is going to tell us a lot. If we drop down to 261 and then the bulls show right back up and we head right back up to 275, that is going to be a sign of strength. If we drop down to 255 and below, as I was talking about, we will then be watching for a daily lower high to be the next bounce. Hourly chart, I did make a bearish entry today on SPY. We knew to be watching for potential profit taking first thing at the open, but we knew that it was just going to be an hourly higher low on a ton of individual names. And when I say we know, that means we anticipate. It's the most likely scenario. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen. We know what is likely to happen. So fortunately today, that followed through pretty clearly. Morning profit taking. Hourly higher low was set. Size of the pullback, just like I talked about on the daily 10 seconds ago, size of the pullback was enough that I was looking for an hourly lower high compared to 275.03. So knowing that, I watched this 5-minute time frame and I saw this sideways trading. I said, all right, that's enough for me. I'm entering bearish. I shorted SPY at 272.31. I put my stop over 274 because at that point, if I was wrong and we saw continuation over this resistance, we very likely would have broken the high of the day as well, in my opinion. So entered there, had risk of about $1.69 on SPY before I would have been stopped out. And the reward, I ended up exiting around 268, I believe, just under 268 into the end of the day as I was going live streaming and a bit distracted. So it ended up being a solid $4 plus win. From here, any bounce we see, we are just looking for an hourly lower high compared to 273.92. IWM, 117.60 did break with no follow through. What does a daily trend change with no follow through mean? It means zoom out and look for the potential of a longer term bear flag. This is a potential weekly bear flag. Right now, anything above 102.60 is a daily high or low, but when we lose the daily uptrend, if that's as far of a bounce as we see, the odds of a weekly bear flag will remain fairly high. QQQ, gap up and profit taking, anything under 190, make that anything under 201.54 is just an hourly lower high. Size of the pullback is going to be telling, but we will be looking for a daily higher low, at least initially, compared to 180.86. Same setup on watch that I went over on SPY. What's notable on the weekly chart, look where we are rejecting from. Exponential resistance being back tested and rejecting the price currently. XLF, 2182 broke with no follow through. Zoom out, it could be a weekly bear flag, absolutely. Daily trend change with no follow through. If the bears break 2125 tomorrow, that will further the case, and we'll be looking at support on the daily, 1936. Lose the daily uptrend from here. Weekly bear flag absolutely on the table for XLF and IWM. XLV, watching for a daily higher low compared to 83.93, but the weekly time frame rejecting from exponential resistance as we are just looking for a weekly lower high. SMH, we are looking for a daily higher low compared to 110.24 initially. What are we rejecting from on the weekly? Exponential resistance, at least initially. That will mean a lot more to me. All these exponential resistance rejections will mean a lot more if daily uptrends are then lost. TLT, support of 164.56, broke today with no bear follow through. We are watching for a weekly lower high to be set, and it was set, and we're seeing very healthy consolidation at this point. Bulls need to change the hourly trend back in their favor. Significant bounce off the low of the day, and into tomorrow, if we get an hourly higher low and higher high, it'll be a loss of the daily uptrend with no bear follow through, which means zoom out and look for a flag. And this is a possible weekly bull flag if that's as much consolidation as we're going to see. The VIX, still trying for a daily higher low compared to 36.20. We did see a little bit of a bounce today. So low of yesterday held as a double bottom. We broke the high of yesterday, and now bulls need a bit of follow through with anything under 69.10 as a lower high. I anticipate the most likely scenario is a higher low compared to 36.20 and a lower high compared to 69.10. Gold, bearish reversal candle on the daily. Daily trend change, but you have to be cautious of a weekly lower high being set on gold as well. Yes, we got close to resistance, but it is fairly similar to the setup on a lot of individual names. Stronger because, again, the proximity that we got to resistance, but we're now watching if we break 1642 support, daily consolidation is underway. We will look for a higher low compared to 1572. I will exit my GLD position when the daily uptrend is lost on gold. And if we were going to see weakness from here, I would anticipate, just like SPY, it would probably look something like this. Silver, same thing, bearish reversal doji. Have to break that tomorrow, the low. Have to break 1488 tomorrow for daily consolidation to be underway. We then look to 1381 support to try and maintain the daily uptrend. GDX, we've been watching for a daily lower high. Because of the size of the pullback, we were unable to break 27.21 today. And if tomorrow we break 25.78, the low of today, it is a rejection from that resistance. And we then look for a daily higher low compared to 23. Really nice top fish play on GDX. I was a bit distracted, took my eye off that play today, but that was a good one. Been scouting that one for a while, looking for the daily lower high. But now we look for a higher low because of the size of the bounce. A lot of space to work with in between 27.21 and 23 support. Oil dumped today. We have the meeting on Thursday with OPEC. And the bulls are hoping that they can form a daily higher low compared to 1929 by then. We have not changed the daily trend at any point at this point. We saw a great bounce, 50%, with no daily trend change. 4-hour chart has to regain the trend for the bulls for the daily higher low to be set. Right now, on any bounce, anything under 27.21 is just a 4-hour lower high. Trend change needed for daily higher low. Natural gas, big bull move, follow through. $2 is the most important resistance to me from here. We have not changed the daily trend. We are breaking some long-term downtrend resistances. And I do believe that because of the size of this move, there will be some bulls looking to buy the daily higher low. But we need to be cautious because the bulls have been fooled many times before. Best case scenario for bulls, in my opinion, for clarity, would be failure to break $2, daily higher low in a bull flag pattern, and then a bull break of the top of $2 and 203 all at the same time. That would be the most significant longer-term momentum shift that we've seen since November, if the bulls could pull that off. That's where we stand into tomorrow. Most individual names have to see breaks of the low of today for daily consolidation to be underway, and a lot of individual names have a lot of space for the daily uptrend to be maintained, at least initially. After all this red from the open today, SPY would still have to drop over 7% to drop to a daily lower low from here. Certainly possible, but there is a decent amount of space for the bulls to be working with. So we'll wrap it up here with a music video I made over the weekend looking at flowers around the yard. And I made the music video to She Comes in Colors by the Rolling Stones. And due to copyright issues, I can't play that here. But all my cuts were matching the beat perfectly. So have to settle for a non-licensed version. Pretty much the same thing.